Hey everyone, it's Tiqqle, and in this video we're going over a particular legendary, and as you can see, testing is going hot and heavy on the beta these days. I even spot a friend here. Anyway, we're going over Ellie, we're going over this particular legendary. Flame shock damage over time, critical strikes, reduce the cooldown of fire elemental by 1 second, and flame shock has a 30% increased critical strike chance. So as you may or may not know, the good old Fire Elemental is a huge cooldown for Elemental Shamans, and it is on a 2.5 minute cooldown. So this one definitely does seem interesting, especially because it's increasing the damage of Flame Shock itself, which is our large portion of our damage, especially in PvP. But it's kind of hard to measure, right? Like, how many crits are you really going to get over the duration? How many Flame Shocks are you going to have out? What's the benefit? Well, here we're going to do a little bit of a time trial. So we're going to go ahead. We have 3 targets here. That's about the max number of Flame Shocks you would be able to get out because Flame Shock lasts 18 seconds. It's on a 6-second cooldown. Mathity math, math, math. That's pretty good. Some of you guys that may already know this know you could potentially get even more out because when you use Flame Elemental, I'll zoom in over here. While Flame Elemental is active, Flame Shock deals 25% damage 25% faster, meaning I can get more crit procs, and newly applied flame shocks last 100% longer, meaning that they're not going to last 18 seconds, they're going to last 36 seconds, which is pretty nice, and it means I could get it on a lot more targets, but 3 is a pretty good test amount for me, I think. So let's go ahead and do that, and let's see what type of benefit we're going to get. All right, so we got a timer up here just to kind of help us in case it's useful. It's kind of hard because when I press this, you're going to see 2.5 minutes. You won't see the number of seconds that I'm going to reduce. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to get 3 flame shocks rocking and rolling here. And unfortunately, I can't get their to show up, their nameplates. I can only get everyone's, but that's okay. So we're going to get a third one here. We're going to pop Flame Ellie. We're going to start the timer. Okay, so that timer is how long it would take if there was no cooldown reduction. I'm going to refresh all the Flame Shocks. The Flame Shocks are now lasting 36 seconds. We'd love to see that. The damage that I'm doing right now doesn't really matter. I just need to keep these Flame Shocks up, so I need to refresh this one next. So the whole point is Flame Elemental is a huge cooldown. So I really want to see how much time am I really getting off. And you can see it's ticking down pretty fast. Oh, now, nice. We're actually able to see the benefit without even using our janky timer. But you could see, you can do the comparison of where it really is. Now, okay, so now it's kind of ticking down. It's 1 minute, 20 seconds. It's knocked off about 30 seconds off the cooldown, it looks like. And again, I'm still going to be dotting these things up, right? So I can kind of keep that going. I let some drop, unfortunately, but suboptimal rotation, Tiqqle, suboptimal. Come on, keep it together. Keep it together. I can get the third one up here. Third one's back up. You can see the timer is ticking down pretty quickly. I'm about almost 1 full minute ahead of schedule, which is pretty good. That means that's about a 1.5 minute cooldown, and depending on how big of the portion of the damage is, that it can make a really big difference, specifically because of the buffs again. The buffs making Flame Shock last longer, making it deal 25% damage 25% faster. All that's altogether a huge plus to damage. So now it's about to be back in 10 seconds. Looks like we knocked off exactly 1 minute on the timer, especially if I did the rotation right. Yep, it's about 1 minute. There you go. It's back. And now we get to rock and roll again. Let's reset it. Let's start it again. Let's do one more test of this to see how we can get on here. It is nice that you were able to see that like sub 1 minute, you know what I mean? Because otherwise just watching the Google timer is kind of lame. But again, so my damage is being dealt faster, and these buffs are lasting longer. It means I can use more globals on, not refreshing flame shocks and doing damage. Obviously, the only thing I'm doing right now is testing this, but the Fire Ellie is being pretty dumb and not attacking. There it is again. I'm at 130. So again, it looks like it gets 30 seconds off the cooldown during the Flame Elemental, during the time that I have all that up. So that's pretty good, truthfully. I'm keeping track of the Flame Shocks, chat. Okay, keeping track of it. Another one's up. Okay, we're gonna get this one going. Don't you worry. All right, looks like again we're over 30 seconds benefit now. Again, if we get up to 1 minute over 2.5 minutes, this is now a 1.5 minute cooldown, and the damage, I'm not going to lie to you guys, details is not correct. I want to let you guys know that. There's some bugs there. So you're probably looking at this and saying, oh, dude, your DPS numbers. But in reality, it's not really the case. All right, we got 25 seconds. You can see it's already going down. You have to also remember one other thing is that my stats are garbage. We'll do the same test on my other shaman that I'm going to copy over from live servers, but long story short, we can't do that quite yet because I have to choose the covenant and do the legendaries and unlock all that stuff. But so at 16% crit rate, there it was right there. It was about a minute again. It was about a minute. So at only 16% crit rate. That's what it's. That's how often it's proccing. Now remember, the legendary itself says Flame Shock has a 30% increased crit chance, meaning that it's critting a lot more than just 10%. So if my baseline, let's say crit is up to, let's say 25, 30, I'm getting a lot more crits, and that's going to reduce the time even more. So is 1 minute off of a Flame Elemental at kind of low, crappy crit good? You guys let me know in the comments. I think that this for a PvE could be very good, especially if you're able to put Flame Shock on more targets than 3, to be honest. So that's something you got to think about, but it's tough to say. There's a few other elemental legendaries I think could get ahead of this in PvP. I think in PvP this isn't necessarily the play, even though Flame Shock increased crit chance is pretty huge. So that's just something else to think about. I will come out with a video later about which legendaries I think are the best, but for now, this is just showing you how it works and giving you food for thought as you're thinking about what legendaries you're going to use on that beautiful LA Shaman. And also, there's also been testing that has been happening with other spec legendaries. So people have been using Elemental Shaman legendaries on an Enhanced Shaman to increase damage. That's something else we'll kind of fool around with, and strangely, it's made a huge difference in some of the damage. So if I think about that here, this would not help. This actually could help enhance. I just hope that enhancement has a better alternative, right? But for Ellie, I think this is definitely a solid choice looking into raid, especially if you have a raid encounter with multiple, like let's say you have 2 bosses and you can keep them multi-dotted with Flame Shocks the whole time, or even 3 multi-dotting like that. This could keep that cooldown very low. It's not going to enable you to do AoE damage. It's not enabling you. This legendary isn't helping your Earthquakes. It's not helping your Chain Lightnings. So that's kind of, just situational at that. Because really, Elemental Shamans right now are kind of in a tough spot in terms of class design because your single target damage is only Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt, Earth Shock, right? While your AoE is Chain Lightning and Earthquake, there's no value, there's no synergy between those two. So you really have to, be doing AoE or be doing single target. There's no both, right? With Maelstrom, we're actually able to do that, which is a plus side there. But anyway, guys, I hope this was a useful video. 3 targets, knocking 1 minute off the cooldown with crappy stats. Not bad, Blizzard. Not bad, especially because there is also a conduit that if I can show you, if I have it in here, no, I don't have it in here. There is a conduit that makes Fire Elemental last 15% longer. So the longer it lasts, the faster those ticks are going to be happening. It could be pretty darn good. Now, I'm not sure if this means that the ticks actually go faster, or it does seem that way, or if the damage is just front loaded, but I would imagine that it's going to be ticking faster. So with that increased duration of the Fire Elemental, that could be pretty nice because now you're going to get even longer Fire Elemental. It's going to be up for longer. The reduction of the cooldown by getting Flame Shock crits, again, because it's faster, probably goes down faster. So maybe you could get this down, maybe a minute and a half cooldown, if that's the case. But again, we'll have to see. Remember, the conduits will be able to ramp up over time. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. So many things are changing on the beta. Oh my gosh. That's why everyone's testing stuff, because you just can't get enough of this. But guys, leave it down in the comments. Thank you so much for all the love and support on the stream every day. Twitch.tv/Tiqqle this. We will see you. We're going to be doing beta streams every single day I stream, unless I have like some arena opportunity that is like just juicy, or we do BGs with viewers. We're just going to keep the content coming. And thank you guys so much for all the love. We'll see you in the next video or on stream. Put in the comments what do you want to see next. Take care.